Thank you, Tobias. All right, hi everyone. Thank you all for coming. Yes, my name is Øyvind Steinkopf, and I work as a bid manager at Kindly. And at Kindly, we develop chatbots, and we work on artificial intelligence and everything that we need to build intelligent chatbots. And myself, that's me. I was a bit younger and a bit more hairy, and I got my master's degree in English literature from NTNU. But I started working at Kindly as an AI trainer myself for about 2.5 years ago, before I started moving on to other things for about 8 months ago, I think. So I worked closely with our product and done quite a bit of chatbot implementations with our customers. But I wanted to talk to you today about the AI trainer. It's a profession that you might not know so much about because it's still a brand new profession. But it's in high demand already, not just with chatbots, but within a lot of things that has to do with big data and machine learning. So I wanted to talk to you today about what we do, AI trainers, what they do and how to become one. So hopefully after roughly 50 minutes, you'll leave here with slightly better understanding and maybe some interest too, because it is really interesting. Trust me. So AI trainers work with what we call chatbots, but other companies might call them digital assistant, virtual agent, conversational AI, and a lot more. And there are a lot of chatbots out there. Not all of them are good, but our understanding of the chatbot is an intelligent digital presence that understands and perfectly answers natural language from users when they type to the chatbot. Because when users type to a chatbot, it's usually because they want something. They need help to order something, to get information. And we call these intents, by the way. Each one of these is an intent from the user. And that's a problem for the chatbot to solve. And the most important job of the AI trainer is to make sure that each one of these is handled by the chatbot in a helpful, informative way, like so. So designing a good overall user experience when chatting with a chatbot is a very important part of what the AI trainer does. That's like the end product, like where we want to be as AI trainers. So that when users are done chatting to the chatbot, they are actually happy, not frustrated or angry. Otherwise, I've sort of broken up the day-to-day life of an AI trainer into 4 different brackets: planning, teaching, building, and testing. So before AI trainers even get their hands on the tool to start actually building chatbots, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. So the AI trainer will then go to whichever customer is ordering a chatbot, right? They sit and meet and plan things like, what is the chatbot supposed to answer? What is the chatbot not supposed to answer? Which is also very important. How should the chatbot answer? In what tone of voice? Is it moderate? Is it formal? Is it funny? Does it use emojis, GIFs, which is very possible. Makes for hilarious chatbots. And that all goes into the planning. All that, we agree upon all that before we even start. So the AI trainer becomes like an advisor, like the chatbot expert in the room, like in a meeting that consists of many others with varying interests. But the AI trainer is always the chatbot expert, the authority in the room. And teaching. The AI trainer does not sit and build and maintain chatbots for 100 different customers. We train staff members at the customer to become AI trainers themselves. So while we sit there and build together, we teach what we know to them, so that they in turn become competent AI trainers themselves. So when we are done and gone, they are the ones who sit there as AI trainers and continuously improve and maintain their chatbots. And they're quite proud of it. A lot of AI trainers, they put it on LinkedIn, like, I just became an AI trainer. Like, it's exciting for them. It's something new. And then, of course, building. So we use a tool that is also called Kindly, which does not require technical expertise. It just requires other skills, like textual skills, language skills, in order to build a chatbot that understands the user and provides a good user experience. So that's like a front-end software that we sit in, or AI trainers use to build chatbots. So that's the building phase, which goes on for a few weeks. And then there's a lot of testing to make sure that the chatbot is doing fine ahead of launch. So we run a lot of tests. And the AI trainer then runs the tests and use the data from testing in order to reiterate and then again improve the chatbot. And this might go on for several cycles until we feel confident that we launch the chatbot. So that's like the 4 facets of a normal project implementation for an AI trainer. I would like to put the AI trainer at the front lines, as I call it right there. It's not a behind-the-scenes kind of job. Behind the scenes, I would put the developers who work on front end, making sure that the project looks nice and is user-friendly, and then, of course, that everything works on back end and NLP, which stands for natural language processing, by the way. That makes sure that the chatbots understand language as a whole. But the AI trainers work a lot more with people. It's very much a people kind of job. We work with customers, and you always have the end users in mind, and they also do a lot of product testing because they are the super users of the chatbot technology. Whenever a new feature launches, they will be the first ones to try it, and they will be the ones giving feedback back to the developers. So they are like the bridge between the technology, the black box that they maybe don't understand at first, and the customer. So they're responsible for breaking things down, making things understandable for the customers who are to become AI trainers themselves. So AI trainers do a lot. It's not just AI training. It's not just sitting there plodding away endlessly behind the laptop. There's a lot more to it. I don't know. I'm just going to leave this out there while I just have a little sip. Thank you. No. Our AI trainers went to school for these things. Just have a look at that. So I wouldn't say there's a common denominator here, other than, of course, there's an emphasis on language here and maybe some creative writing. But I would say that the main common denominator is that they are non-technical. You don't see data science or IT or anything up here. And these are our AI trainers. They have this background right here. The same goes for work experience. Our AI trainers used to be, notice the hairdresser. So you can come in from this from many different angles. And that's kind of my point of this, is to show that we don't look for a certain skill set of work experience and education when we look for new AI trainers. We look for other things, maybe more sort of soft skills, like these. First one, curious about tech. It might be a bit obvious, but if you're a non-technical person and you're heading into tech, then of course you need to have a sense of curiosity about artificial intelligence, about new technology in general, maybe about the future in general. And hopefully you are positive about the future, because we are, and we believe that AI and chatbots can do a lot of good. And that's what it was like for me. I came in with some interests, not really knowing what I was heading into. But then, of course, my interest in AI just skyrocketed once I actually got started working on it. So some interest going in is good, but the rest will sort of come. Great team player, yes. There are a few professions these days that do not state, in the job application, needs to be a great team player. And it can be annoying sometimes, but the AI trainer rarely works alone. They usually work in pairs or in teams, like I said, with staff members from customers. So the AI trainer needs to be good at relating information, taking things back, evaluating the work, and being the calm one in the room whenever we work on a chatbot project. Yes. Meticulous and patient. There is a lot of, we need to do a lot of reiterations usually when we work on chatbots. New features will launch, and some of them alter the way we work as we work, meaning that we have to redo a lot of work because this is brand new technology. It's not been done before, so we're sort of creating the technology as we are also creating byproducts of the technology, which will be the chatbots. So a willingness to sort of take a step back, redo work, and just be patient about it is also very important. Pretty good writer. This one might also be a bit obvious, but AI trainers are writers, or become writers as they enter the profession. Writing for a chatbot is like a genre unto itself, because you have this very limited chat window, right? And you do not want to clutter it with a lot of text, because then what's the point of using a chatbot? You can just go to the web page instead, right, and read the entire article. The point of using a chatbot is to get the information you want quickly and in as few sentences as possible. So that's like a writing art unto itself. Otherwise, the AI trainer does a lot of other writing, like normal copywriting, like writing articles, social media posts, translating documents, manuals. So there's a lot of that too. Just a lot of writing in general. So of course they need to be quite good at it. And happy to represent. Like I said before, the AI trainer is like the bridge between technology and people. So that they get out and sort of try to demystify what we're doing is great. Because it is it's quite easy to get into. But I think there's a lot of mystery about what it is still. So that the AI trainer is happy to get out there to events. We do a lot of these events, whether it's technology or business events. We like to get out there and talk about what we do. Yes, this is from the report called World Economic Forum, The Future of Jobs, 2018. You might have heard of it. A prediction from it, which is quite glaring, is that 75 million jobs will be gone in 5 years from now, but 133 million new jobs will emerge. Sorry, and that's not the same as to say that 75 million people will be replaced by 133 million new people. These are the same people gaining new skills, repositioning themselves, and working on other things, like new technology. It's all about being able to make that move, maybe preferably also, as early as now, but in the future, of course, a lot of people will have to gain new skills. But there's no harm in doing it right now. And you can. And this is how you do it. By seeking out these places. These are technology hubs or technology incubators, which are basically large collectives of small technology startups that are usually housed in like a large office complex together, like these ones. These are just the ones from Oslo, by the way. There are exciting startup environments in, I think, Bergen, Trondheim, and there's also lots of exciting stuff going on right here, of course, in Stavanger, and also in other Scandinavian cities. And we also come from one of these, actually, from Startup Lab, right there. When I came into Kindly, we were like 5 people sitting in a very small room, and now we are about 40+ people, I think. But usually, this is where the magic happens, when the company is still small enough to be about the idea, right? and the tech guru is sitting there with a few other coders. But once the company starts growing, there's a need for a lot of different expertise, not just coding. And the AI trainer is one of these sort of supplementary trades that will have to come once the AI company grows out of that very small first office, right? So I think this is an excellent opportunity to jump onto one of these. And they all need jobs or need to fill positions once they grow to a certain size. And they might not always be apparent on the front page of finn.no or whatever. But if you're willing to go look for the jobs now, there's a good possibility that there might be something there. Funny story though, one of our own employees showed up when we were sitting at Startup Lab, just came knocking on the glass door with his resume in hand and said, "Hey, I want to work here." And he ended up working there. Obviously, he was skilled. He had the necessary skills. But just showing that sort of initiative and willing to jump into the unknown is it's pretty powerful. It does a lot of impression. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to talk to you about. If you find me, please ask me about what we do about AI training, if you find me. Other than that, enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
I did find you up here on stage, and I will ask you a couple of questions. Yeah. As you told us, you're a major in English literature.
Yes.
Is that the new trend in the tech industry?
I wouldn't say it's the new trend. It's one of many gateways into an exciting job in technology, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was the gateway for me, but it wasn't an apparent one once I got out of university. I sort of figured out that, oh, hey, I can still make this work, even though I don't know how to code. I would say the gateway in is still learn how to code, because then you get a job 2 years before you're even done with your bachelor's degree, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think if you have a degree in English or any other humanities that you don't find a proper outlet for, then the solution might be here. And there will be a lot more demand for AI training in the coming years.
Fantastic, and to me that's really interesting that some of the old traditional subjects actually make sense in the tech industry. We talk a lot about only coding, so that's great to hear. When you have this perspective on AI, I need to ask you, when will the machine be smarter than the trainer?
When? Well, that's a good question. The way I see it, the AI trainer, well, the day-to-day work of an AI trainer has already changed compared to when I started. When I started, it was a lot more about plotting in data. So you have an intent, right? A question from the user and an answer from the chatbot, and then we would just put in similar phrases, and that would be the chatbot training. So we worked a lot on these big data sets. Already now, the machine learning is a lot smarter, meaning that the data sets are a lot smaller. So we spend a lot more time on designing dialogues, like good flows, like logic branches. If the user says this, then chatbot does that. So we design a lot of logic now. So I think the trade is changing from strictly AI training to sort of more AI designer or chatbot designer. When
I just need a year.
In 2 years.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. That was a good answer.